All right, welcome to Unbearable Podcast. I'm Ryan Voss. With me, as always, is Drew Testa. Drew, how you feeling?
Not too bad. Like we were saying, I know it's been a while since we've done one of these, but like we were talking before we got on, like pretty much every week is more or less the same thing now. So I mean, what's really the point of getting on here every week and just saying the same stuff over and over again? Like it's just kind of dumb.
Yeah, nothing's too exciting about this season. If I remember correctly, I don't know if we said it in our preseason video, but the goal of the season was for Justin Fields to look good, Justin Fields to develop. As long as that happened, I don't care what our record was, whatever. As long as Justin Fields looked good, and I think he's had 8 starts about that. I mean, we're in week 11. I know he didn't start the first couple of games, but he's looked good. He's gotten better each and every week, and that's all we can ask for. At least that's how I see it.
Yeah, he's definitely shown steady improvement. Last week against Pittsburgh, not last week because I guess we had the bye, but last game against Pittsburgh was easily the best game of his career. So it's just like nice to see him like from when he came like the first game against the Browns, which was like pretty rough, to now. Like you could like it seems like every single week he's just starting to figure it out more, which is good.
Yeah, that's all we can hope for this season. It kind of sucks that we have such a terrible record because we don't have our first round pick. But at the end of the day, if Justin Fields is a Pro Bowler taking this team to the playoffs, that first round pick won't really be missed.
Yeah, especially with our history of first round picks with Pace anyway, not being like the best. I mean, I think it's definitely it was worth the risk then. It's worth it now. Even if he doesn't pan out, it would have been worth the risk. So it's whatever.
So the day this video was recorded, the news came out. Khalil Mack is done for the season, and with Khalil Mack being done for the season, I almost want to say the Bears season's also over. What do you think about Mack being out and the impact it has for this team?
Yeah, I mean, one thing I will say to help us out a little bit is Robert Quinn's been playing a lot better this year than last year, which is good.
Robert
But
Quinn
like,
looks worth his contract.
right, or at least it's not like the worst contract in football potentially, like it maybe was last year.
He did
But
he
like,
did
yeah,
look better playing opposite of Mac. That's when he was
yeah,
really going off. Now it's kind of taking a back seat, but
but yeah, Mac. I mean, there's no doubt. Like, yeah, maybe his production or at least stats has like gone down the last few years, but he's still the best player on our team. Still like the heartbeat of the defense. So, and we don't have him out there. Our chances of like doing anything this year are already like relatively slim. Now they're pretty much just gone, I would say.
I got to look up a tweet, but it was all the players that are out for this upcoming game against the Ravens, and literally it's like the heart of this team. The players that were
Like the
at the
foundation.
forefront for
Yeah.
of the 2018 team, the people that were supposed to be our stars are all hurt this year. Here we go. Here's the tweet. Akeem Hicks is out. Allen Robinson is doubtful. Eddie Jackson is questionable. Khalil Mack is out for the season. Like those are four of our biggest stars on this team, and they all have had injuries at this point, and are not having the years we would expect them to have.
No, and maybe this is a conversation for as not even might be. It definitely is a conversation for a later episode. But like, there's got to be a lot of overhaul to this roster this offseason. I feel like.
Honestly, we're already at that point in the season where the season's a wash, where we could start talking about the offseason. I hate that. If we had a first round pick, I'd already be looking at mock drafts. But yeah, I think it's officially time to move on from Matt Nagy. He's had 4 years. We never quite saw an offense, a capable offense. And I'm tired of it. And I'd like to see some change in the offseason. There's a debate if Pace should be fired as well. Right now I feel like in the camp that he should not be, but definitely I want to see change at the head coach position.
I would, yeah, definitely Nagy's got to go. And I don't even think he's like a terrible coach. I just think he's had too long and has done too little. So I think he'll definitely get a job somewhere else for sure. Maybe not
I,
head coaching, but something at
I
least.
think he could get a job as a head coach somewhere else and be successful. I just think it like Chicago and Matt Nagy is a relationship that is played out and has just been worn down. And like right now, they're only together because they're together. Like they don't, you know what I'm saying? Like this relationship's dead. It's time for them to move on.
He's gone this offseason. I just think they want to show him the courtesy of not firing him in the middle of the year, but he's as good as gone, I would think. But yeah, Pace, I mean, it's just like he just keeps finding a way to buy himself some time, it seems like. So now I feel like you got to give him this offseason and then evaluate it from there. But if we come out next year and like are like the same team we were this year, then he's got to go after next year too.
Yeah, and I think it couldn't hurt to give him another year. I don't think it would change things too drastically. I mean, he already made one of the biggest decisions you can make as a general manager, and that's at quarterback.
Right.
So like, could he really mess up this team that much? No, I think he found a quarterback in Justin Fields. It kind of reminds me of in 2017 where Mitch Trubisky was drafted. He had 1 year with John Fox, and then they brought in a new coach. And I feel like we'll be entering the same thing in the 2021 offseason where we have a first year quarterback who completed his rookie year, and now we got to marry him to a coach. We just got to hope this time we marry him to the right guy and not Matt Nagy.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see like who the hot names are this year, like whenever the coaches start getting picked up. But Pace really just can't mess this up again because if he messes up the coach again, then he's gone. Like he's got to get it right.
So is the way you see it now, you wouldn't mind if Pace is still on the GM?
I would give him this off season and see where we are next year if it was me.
All right, back to this season because we still have 6, 7 more games to play. Do you have any expectations or anything you want to see other than Justin Field improvement? I mean, that's all you can really look for.
Yeah, there is something that was really kind of bothered me about the Steeler game, beside the officiating, obviously. But like, so we got David Montgomery back, and in his absence, Khalil Herbert was actually, in my opinion, playing like really, really good, like running the ball really well. So I would like to see them split carries between those two a little bit more instead of like, okay, Montgomery's back, he's the alpha dog now, and like that's not
Right.
knocking Montgomery because I think he's been good, like definitely last year and when he's been healthy this year. But like you have another player that's good, like why would you not use him? So I would like to see them kind of distribute the carries between them two more.
It seems like most backfields, especially the teams that really run the ball well, like the Cowboys, you got Zeke and Tony Pollard. The Browns, you got Chubb and you got Kareem Hunt. Like, there's
And even
nothing
we've
wrong
seen
with
Green
that.
Bay incorporate Dylan way more into their offense this year too.
Yes.
So yeah, I mean, I don't understand like if you have a player who's shown that they could be good, just not using him just doesn't make sense anymore. I don't know.
Yep. Man, there's just really nothing exciting to talk about this
It's
season.
really not. I mean, Tevin Jenkins supposed to be coming back pretty soon, so I mean, we could see how he does, but it's not like we're like, man, this really needs to happen. Like this is we're just got to like pretty much in a position where you just got to wait and see how everything plays out, pretty much.
We talked a lot last year when we would do weekly videos. Is that we would say wait on Cole Kmet, and we're like, because he's not gonna his first year, you can't judge a rookie tight end. What do you think about Cole Kmet this year?
I mean, he's not like Kyle Pitts, right? Like we could say that pretty safe. He's not, I don't think, ever going to be like an elite guy, but I mean, he's still got traits that you like. He's big, he's bulky, he could run after the catch pretty effectively for his size. So I don't think he's like a terrible player, but I don't think he's going to ever be like a star tight end. I could maybe see him being like a Hunter Henry type of guy.
Sure. Yeah, I squeaked a little bit there. I haven't done that in a while. Um, I hear he's like good in the blocking game. I could be wrong about that, but I think he's making an impact there, and he's getting more involved in the offense. He's getting more targets and looks. So I mean, like you said, he's never going to be a star. He'll never be a household name, but I think he's a solid player. I don't. I guess I don't. I don't like hate Cole Kmet or I'm mad that we took him in the second round or anything like that. I think he is what he is, and he's all right. Uh, But another storyline that we talked a lot about last year was Kyle Fuller being released. What do you think about that?
Sorry. Yeah. I mean, from what I've heard, he hasn't like played that well in Denver anyway. So, and even then, like, yeah, I like Kyle Fuller. Like, he was one of my favorite players when we had him. But like, is having him on this team, like, would that make us any better? Probably not. So, I mean, it is what it is, I guess.
I feel like our secondary hasn't been terrible either. I, I mean,
It hasn't been great.
what's up?
It hasn't been like great, but it hasn't
No,
just been, like we've been getting bombed every game.
yeah, that's what I was.
Yeah.
The worst example of that was of us just getting bombed. It wasn't even a deep ball. It was the screen pass to Debo Samuel when he took it for
Yeah,
84 yards.
we've
Like,
always struggled. I remember that game. I don't know why, like this pops in my mind still, but dude, Albert Wilson had like 3 catches for like 150 yards and 3 touchdowns with the Dolphins that 1 year. But we
with
just
Brock
can't.
Osweiler.
Yeah, that was just terrible. Like so, we've just never been able to stop that. That's why I'm so worried this week because we struggle against running quarterbacks too, and we got Lamar Jackson this week, so that probably is not going to be fun.
Well, speaking of this week, I feel rather optimistic about this. I don't know if it's just because the Dolphins game, the the Ravens looked really bad or what, but I think the Bears have a chance. I think Fields, he 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 might do well. The Ravens defense isn't that great,
Right, that's what I was gonna say. The Ravens defense has been really vulnerable this year, so Fields is gonna have to make plays for us to win this game because the Ravens offense is like really good, obviously. So he's gonna have his chance to get off and do his thing this week. So this is gonna be a real test for him. I feel like to see what he can
And
do.
if the progression that he showed from the 49ers game to the Steelers game continues that trend, because he looked good in the 49ers game too. I
Yeah,
think he had over 100 rushing yards. Both of those games, the Bears could have won. I had the defense just bailed them out a little bit. I think for the first time in a lot of recent years here, the Bears offense is what looked capable, and the Bears defense is what let them down. Which usually it's the other way around.
right. And I wouldn't say like I don't think it's to that extreme because in like 2018, obviously our defense was way better than our offense is now. We're just not as good as the teams we were then. But yeah,
No.
I would definitely say the offense, at least the last couple of weeks, has definitely been the better side of the ball for sure.
Do you have anything else to say?
Um, we need to okay. This is one thing I will say for sure. We need to pick up an actual wide receiver this offseason. Like Robinson done. I've been over him for a while. We need to pick up like a real legit guy. Like if we can get Devontae Adams, like I know okay, yeah, Devontae Adams, but like he is a free agent. So like I think that'd be huge for us.
Yeah, it's not out of the realm of possibilities. Also, Chris Godwin will be a free agent too,
Yeah,
unless
that'd be
he's
good.
franchise tag again. I mean, there will be guys out there. The Bears were heavily involved this offseason. They were trying to go after Kenny Galladay. They, met with him for dinner and stuff. So the Bears are trying to add. I wouldn't rule out that possibility. Um, let's talk about Robinson though. Like, what the hell happened?
I just don't. I think he's over. I don't think he wants to be here.
He's just kind of
He's
over
just
here
kind
to
of
get paid.
doesn't want to get injured, wants to get his payday, which I can't. I mean, I'm not going to hate on him for that. Like he's been good for us for a while, but he's kind of like screwing himself over in the process because he's going to want this guy with this year. You're
Right.
supposed to be the big free agent. Now you're going to have your worst year.
Right. I mean, there's nothing really to talk about this season. It's just let's see Justin
It's
Fields
just
get better.
kind of boring, which sucks to say, but it's just kind of boring.
You know what? I am excited about this coming week because we got the game Sunday and the game Thursday, and both of them are winnable games. So this is I'm actually excited to be a Bears fan right now. I'm looking forward to watching the game Sunday and then putting on my thick sweater on Thursday for
There you
Thanksgiving.
go.
So there's I always love Thanksgiving watching the Bears play the Lions. So
Yeah.
there's some excitement as Bears fans right now.
Yeah, but no, beside that, I mean, really as of right now, like we were saying, what can you really say? It just kind of is what it is at this point.
Unless you guys probably won't see us really until the end of the season, unless Justin Fields comes out and has 400 passing yards, 100 rushing yards, and 6 total touchdowns. I mean, there's really nothing to talk about. As long as Justin stays on the progression he is now, I think we can all be happy, despite having a losing record likely at the end of the season. And not being
I'll actually say one more thing I actually forgot to say. I don't know if you might know more than me, but like, what is going on with Tariq Cohen? Because he like, hasn't been playing. And then like went on like a Twitter rant like yesterday. Like, is he supposed to be coming back or what?
You would have thought he would have been practicing and stuff because he missed like all of last
Right,
season.
I thought he would have been ready for week 1, and he's
Yeah.
still not even practicing.
So yeah, I guess just his injury progression, is not going well.
I guess not. Clearly, yeah.
I think the Bears have an out in his contract after this year. They don't really need him. They got Khalil Herbert. They got David Montgomery. Really, the only reason I'd want Tariq Cohen back is for, kick returns or to be a wide receiver. Just put him in the slot because that's what he was better at anyways, being a receiver than a running back. So we'll see what happens. But he might have played his last down with the Bears. Same with Allen Robinson. Well, no, he didn't play his last down. He's still on the team. Actually, he's
Khalil
hurt right
Mack
now.
played his last
Khalil
down.
Mack might have played his last down, which at this point, get what you can for him. We're paying him a lot of money. This team needs to do a soft rebuild. The focus should be around surrounding Justin Fields with talent. Yes, we want a good defense, but if we could clear the books and get a draft pick in the process that we can use on offense, I'll take it.
Yeah, I would. I 100% agree.
All right. The Bears actually do. They're not completely out of the playoff. They're playoffs. They're in the hunt. Luckily, the NFC has not been good. The Falcons were actually the 7th seed, I believe, earlier in the week,
They're
and
one
then
of
they
the worst
lost
teams I've
after
ever
the
seen in my entire
Patriots.
life.
What'd you
Just
say?
the Falcons are worse than us, I think, for sure.
They are. So, I mean, maybe if the Bears come out, they beat the Lions. They still have 2 games against the Vikings. They're pretty good against the Vikings. We got a beatable Ravens. I mean, maybe we're back into the thick of things. I don't know. It all I hate to say it, but it all kind of depends on Justin Fields. If
Yeah.
this team wants to go to the playoffs, he's got to put the team on his back a little bit, which is a lot of pressure for a rookie. I'm not expecting that at all, but it could happen, and that's the only way I see it happening. The rest of the team's just not good enough.
No, it's not at all. It's just crazy to think that Mac Jones probably been the best rookie QB this year. Like I would have never expected that.
He's in the perfect situation.
Yeah.
The Jets, I knew they stink. I'd rather have gone to Jacksonville, but yeah, I don't know. Lawrence hasn't been like anything to write home about it. I don't
Kind of
think.
garbage, honestly.
Yeah, there's nothing like, oh, well, look at this flash play by Lawrence. I haven't seen a single highlight or anything. Fields,
Yeah.
you have at least.
Right.
So, all right, guys. Like I said, unless something super exciting happens, or all of a sudden we're back into the thick of things, there's now the expanded playoffs. A seventh seed team could go in with a losing record. Really, it could. That happened when there were 16 playoffs. We might be back. If not, we'll talk in the offseason and kind of recap how this sucky season has been.